Anyway, listen. How many of you guys are parents of children who are of the age where we start getting annoyed with them being in our house and want to kick them out, right? So I want to know how many of you guys are parents of children who are about like 21, 22, 23. Because I have a question. I have a question that I want to ask you guys. So today's topic is going to be, are we failing our children? Are we failing our children when we kick them out the house? Are we failing our children when we kick them out the house? Hey Monique, I miss you too. Hey Tanja. Okay, so Tanja, your child is 22 years old. Perfect. Okay, assalamu alaikum Abdul. Yes, I'm back. I feel much better that I got that stuff off my chest today. Much better after I cursed out that troll trying to get me to come out ugly. Y'all know me. I usually don't go there. I keep telling people, don't bring me there. I'm good, but certain things I just don't tolerate. Certain things I don't tolerate. 9 out of 10 times I can ignore stupid people. But when your stupidity becomes like annoying and is out of control, you trying to get attention, I'm going to give you the attention you're looking for. You ain't going to like it. So nonetheless, I feel better now today. I feel better. Let's have this conversation. In the meantime, in between time, share the video. Share the video. Make sure you guys not only like the page, but follow the page. Because when you follow the page, you're able to get notifications of when I am on. So let's go on. I was having a conversation with someone who has she has more than one child, but her oldest child is 21 years old. And he is a male child, a boy. And her biggest complaint was that if he is not going to contribute to the bills, he's going to have to leave the house. Now, this is a young man, granted, who didn't go away to college, didn't go to college. And you know what the truth is? College isn't for everybody. That's just the truth. College is not for everybody, but the young man is working. And you have to keep in mind when I say that he's 21 years old. 21 years old. So I get called into this situation because it's creating a crisis in the home. As a therapist, I get called in because it's creating a crisis into the home. And her biggest gripe is if he's going to live in this house, he gotta pay bills. And if he's not going to contribute to the household, he has to leave. This is a person who is working at a job that pays him $11 an hour. Remember what I just said to you guys. He is 21 years old, does not have a college education, is making $11 an hour, and lives with his parents in an affluent area. And her gripe is, if you're not going to pay bills, you got to leave. See, I had to paint the picture. Because I meet so many parents, so many of our melanated parents, and they have that same mindset of this family I'm contracted to work with to try to get the chaos in the home down. But I already see what the problem is. But of course, you know, I got to do what therapists do. I can't just rush to conclusions, even though I've seen this 1,001 times and I see exactly what she's doing. But to get off of her for a moment and on to some of my associates. Some of my associates have put their children out of the home when their children are like 22, 23 years old. Put them out of the home because their whole thing is, you got to make it on your own. You got to survive. I had to do it. And when I hear this, I had to do it. And then I look at your life. You act like you're making like $500,000 a year. You talking about I had to do it like I'm successful. I had to do it. No, like, are you serious? Because you're making like 60, 70,000. You think that's real money? Like, seriously? You're going to put this person out. Did you forget how it was when you were 22 years old? Did you forget how it was for you at 23 years old? You're going to put this child out, and you haven't given your child all the tools that he or she needs to be successful. Just because they went to school doesn't mean they have all the tools to become successful. I meet 22, 23-year-olds all the time that don't even know how to write a check. You haven't even taught them how to manage bills. You haven't given them financial literacy as it relates to credit cards, banking, interest, stocks, bonds, dividends, writing a check, balancing your checkbook, profits and losses, income and expenses. You haven't done any of that, and you're going to put your child out? So I ask the question, are we failing our children when we kick our children out the home? Now, I can't put any of my beliefs on any of you guys. I absolutely can't do it. But I have an agreement with my children. My children who are old enough to understand. My 5-year-old, he's too young to understand just yet, but he's going to have the same agreement. You see, my children got to hit certain milestones that I set for them before I am comfortable putting them out the house. Like, for example, my daughter's a junior in college. She's a pre-med student. She's going to med school. She goes to an Ivy League university, which requires her to have a rigorous schedule. The child hardly ever sleeps. And she's working hard. If she gets a 3.7, she's crying. She like 3.9 and better, right? That's just my daughter. That's just my daughter. And I know her desire is to go to medical school. So I feel as a mom, it is my responsibility, because she is still young. Although she's an adult, she's a young adult. She is still young. And I feel as a mom, it is my responsibility to help her set up her plan, because I've already done it. I've already done it. I'm done. I got my 3 stripes. You can call me doctor. I'm done. So since I already know what it takes to acquire success, it is my responsibility to now teach my children. So why would I want my daughter to graduate with her bachelor's and then tell her that she's on her own? Why would I do that? So instead, I hit certain things for my children. You gotta know how to manage an account. You have to know how to save money. You have to know how to invest money. And I told my daughter, when you leave this house, you are not allowed to move into anything you don't own. I don't care if you get a condo. You don't have to have a house if you don't want a house, but you have to have ownership. So we are on a plan where she knows after she graduates, she's taking a gap year before she goes to medical school. After she graduates and she's working at either for the doctor that she works for now, she's been with him for 2 years now, and he hires her every summer. So either for the doctor she's with now, or she finds a new job in a hospital. The point is, we have a payment plan of how much money she should particularly have saved up to purchase a home or a condo in an area that she's going to be comfortable with. So I teach her about how to look for the pricing, the market prices of the houses and the condos in the areas that she is assuming she would like to live with. It's all about planning with our children. And she has until the age of 30 to accomplish it, as long as she remains unmarried. Unmarried. Because once you get married, that's your husband's responsibility. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I map it out with her. Everything is clear and she understands. And this girl, she saves all her money. She probably got as much money as I do saved, or more. Or more. She could probably buy herself a little something right now. Because she doesn't spend anything. She doesn't spend anything. She's very frugal because she understands that I have given her a goal. You cannot leave until you get an apartment. Now, people would say, Dr. Shonna, she's a grown woman. She can leave if she wants to. And you are absolutely right. But when you raise a child to honor and respect you, when you raise a child to honor and respect you, they will live up to what you set for them. I remember she went on a little date, and they missed their movie. And so they had to wait for the next movie. And it was after 12 o'clock, so I called her. And she sent me a text message. And she said, Mom, we missed the movie. We're still at the theater. I'll be home directly afterwards. It ends about 1 o'clock. I wasn't happy with that. Coming in my house at 1 o'clock in the morning, not at all. So when they came back, she came in, she had a discussion. I told her I would like to sit down with her friend that she went on her little date with. And my husband and I, were going to have a conversation with them. And it's no big deal. No big deal. But I had to have a conversation with her first, separately, about what the expectations are as a woman, as a queen. She's a queen in training. She's a princess. So it is my responsibility to reflect the behavior I expect from her as a woman. And then my husband talked to her about sending mixed messages to men and what men might interpret these messages to be, even though she doesn't mean it. And then how, as a family, all of us, even her friend who lives in our building, you're coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and our doorman is going to see you and him walking in and know who you guys' parents are. So what kind of thoughts will you give the doorman when you walking in at 1 o'clock in the morning with your friend in the building, knowing that you are my child and he is his parent's son? That never happened again. And we sat him down, and he said he totally understood it, and he didn't mean any disrespect by any means necessary. He understands where we're coming from, and in the future they'll reach out before they get a ticket to make sure it's okay. He would never want to paint the picture that she's something other than what she is. And he never disrespected again. He never disrespected again. He honors her. So much so that he's so nervous around her because he understands how precious she is to us. You get what I'm saying? So when you raise a child to honor and respect you, the template you give them, the blueprint you give them, they're gonna want to follow it. This is not something I implemented by the time she was 16 or 17. This is something I implemented at birth. So that's all she knows. She knows nothing else. So when I say to people, when they say to me, well, she, that's nice and everything, but she's a child. She's an adult. She's going to do whatever she want to do. No, maybe your child is going to do whatever they want to do. She looks forward to that because we raised her in a home where she understands the power of ownership. Whether it's your business, your home, your stocks, your dividends, it doesn't matter. We raised her with the understanding of what ownership means. They're raised in a home where they see our flexibility. When she needs me, she was to call me right now, and even if I had a full calendar, I'm asking my assistant to cancel all my appointments, and I'm going into New York to be there for my child. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was a 9-to-5 worker. And there's no disrespect toward 9 to 5. But I'm saying that when she sees that, and when my sons see that, they understand the value in ownership. So when you set it up for them, they're going to follow the blueprint. They're going to follow the blueprint. My only thing is, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I'm not comfortable putting my children out on the street when they get of a certain age unprepared. I'm not comfortable with it. People can do whatever they want to do. I know how it was. I left my house at 18 years old and never came back. I left at 18 years old, and it was a struggle. Did I do it? Absolutely. But like I said yesterday, poverty is painful. There's a lot of things I did not have and I could not afford. There were times where my cable would get turned off, or my landlord would be like, what's up with the rent? That's not cool. Or I had to work 3-4 jobs, tired as hell, just so I can make ends meet. Why would I want to put my children through that? And people have this crazy idea that it's teaching them. They're getting experience. They're getting experience. Yeah, they are, but they can get experience in a lot of ways. Now, my son, he ain't staying in the house for 30. Maybe he got 28, right? Maybe he got 28 on it. And 30 is for unusual circumstances. But they already know. They already know. You got to, even with my son, you're not leaving my house to go into a woman's house. You're not doing that. I counsel people for a living. I am a relationship expert. People who work with me know that. They know that. They know how I work. And I see so many men who have moved in with women who are strong, educated, you name it, and they get emasculated. They get their balls chopped off. You hear what I'm saying? And that man never lived on his own. I meet so many men in counseling who have went from their mama's house into their woman's house. That will not be my son. That will not be my son. You are not coming from mommy's house into a woman's house for her to emasculate you. It will not be happening. No. You buy your own property and you know what it takes to manage a mortgage and to manage bills, and you build up your credit. And you buy multiple, you do what you have to do before you get into that marriage. And you tie everything up legally so you can protect yourself from her getting half, from the stuff that you acquired before you got with her. And I don't care. Y'all can say y'all don't like the way, I don't care. People can say what they want to say. I'm letting you know because I see the cutthroat behaviors out here. And until our community get it together. See, people are not raising their kids at a standard and at a level that I'm comfortable with. And I don't want my son meeting one of these Cardi B knuckleheads out here. And y'all already know I love me some Cardi B. But come on, there's behaviors that I don't want my son to marry. Let's just say it. I don't want my son to marry the glorified hoe. Like, it's just not going down like that. Y'all know what I mean. Come on. Don't get in your feelings. Y'all know what I mean. Stuff has got to be set up correctly. And how we start to teach our children right now is how we prepare them for success later. You got to set the standard right now, and it has to make sense. It has to make sense. You can't be like, oh, you 25, when you gonna leave, get out. But you haven't taught your child anything. Your child don't know the first thing about credit. Your child couldn't even buy a house if they wanted to. Your child couldn't even get an apartment if they wanted to because they have no credit, or they got effed up credit. So now they can't get an apartment. They can't get a car. You gotta teach your kids before you kick them out. Because if not, then we keep the perpetual nonsense going. You know? So that's the question I had to ask. I'm really done, guys. I just want to have a conversation with y'all. I'm really done. But that's the question I asked. Are we failing our children when we kick them out the house before they are prepared? This is not for anybody to take it personal. I know I got some people that follow me, and then they unfollow me because they taking things all personal. Like I know them. Like we go to dinner together. I don't know you. I love you. I have nothing but love for you. I don't know you. You know, they get all in their feelings. I ain't like that. You said that. Calm down. Sit down. It's not that serious. It really isn't. Do what you want to do. I'm just giving you information. What you decide to do is what you decided to. So nobody get it, don't get in your feelings. I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question. Are we failing our children when we kick them out before we give them the blueprint? And then the second half of that question is, do we even know the blueprint? Do we even know what it takes to be successful? Because if you don't know, you damn sure can't teach teach a child, right? You can't teach your children if you don't know. So that's all it's about. Every time I talk, it's really about cultivating your mind and elevating your thinking. So that's some food for thought. If we're not doing it, let's start doing it. If we're not sitting our children down and testing them to see, write this check out. What goes here? What goes that? See, they know how to write a check. Go to the ATM. I want you to take out $100. I want you to take out $40. I want you to take out $20. And see, they know how to do that. I want you to deposit this check in the bank with just not taking a picture to see they know how to do that. Get your profit and loss. Your profit and loss statements together. Checks and balances. Give them money. Give them an account and make sure they balance that account and put money in so they can understand that you have to put money in order for you to take money out. You know, do we do that with them? Do we take them to freeannualcredit.com or whatever the hell the name of the site is and let them see how it looks to run their credit, to see what's on their credit, if anything at all? Do we teach them that? Do we teach them that? Do we sit down and do we peruse realtor.com so they can look for the prices of the houses and have them play around with the mortgage calculators so they can get an idea of how much money they would have to save for a down payment if they was going to buy that house? Do we do that? I do that, but do you do that? Do you do that? I took my son through a whole flipping process with the house. He went through the whole program with me, and he understands what it takes to flip the house and make the money. He understands all of that. We did the whole thing with him. And my brother-in-law, who owns hundreds of properties, sat down with him as well and showed him the ropes. And we're going to be working with him more on doing that so that he can get prepared. And some of you guys who've been following me for a while know I have taken him to Home Depot classes so he can understand how to do simple things, simple repairs. Somebody and I are putting together a program to teach young boys how to do basic maintenance, how to fix holes in a wall, how to lay down carpet, lay down floors, change oil in a car, change spark plugs, take off a tire, all these things. Are we really preparing our children before we get in so quick with kicking them out? Right? Right? My son came up to me the other day, and then I'm getting out of here, I promise. I promise. My son, who is 14, came up to me the other day because he kept making comments about wanting an iPhone. So in my house, again, preparing them for what real life is. You can't get a phone unless you buy it. If you don't buy a phone, you have no phone. So all his friends have iPhones, so what does he want? An iPhone. I'm a Droid person. I'm going to buy you what I buy, not what you want. What you want, you can buy yourself. So he breaks his phone, and I got to repair the Droid. So see, you can't play games with me. You can't break your phone with me and think that because you break it, I'm going to get you a new one. Because if it can't be repaired, you just don't have a phone. It's just that simple. And so I go out there, and I tell him what the rules are. He keep going. I said, well, you need to do your research. You need to do your research so you can see how much money you need to buy yourself an iPhone, because I am not buying an iPhone. So you need to think about how can you create money. I've given you all the tools that you need to create money. On your bookshelf, you have a number of business startup books for children in simple language. You have a mother and a stepfather that have businesses that we can show you the ropes. You know what it takes to make money. You have made money off of gaming. Off of gaming. And if you chose to spend that money, that's on you. I am not giving you any money. In this house, we earn money. So you need to work for the money you want. This is what I told him maybe like 2 months ago. So he comes up to me last night and he said, Mom, can I pick up some hours at your job? I said, excuse me? At your business, can I pick up some hours? Oh, so you just want to do what you normally do. You want to come to pick up some hours to work, and then you're going to quit once you get what you want. I said, why don't you figure something out first before you come? Because what we're not going to do, we're not going to get into the habit of thinking anytime you want money, you could just work for mommy or work for pops. We're not going to get into that habit. Fine. Yeah, fine. He walks away. Then he comes back. I can buy an iPhone for $650. So I'm gonna start thinking about ways right now to create $650. That's good. Create it. And if I get $650 up, would you take me to go get the phone? Absolutely. Absolutely. See, that's setting children up for success. That's setting up for success. Because now he don't care. He don't care that he don't get a brand new iPhone. He like, look, I can get one. Somebody's willing to sell me one for $650. Because that's what the kids in that community does. They make money off of sneakers. They make money off of gaming. They make money. These little kids, they know how to make money. I'm not giving you money. I'm not setting that up. Because when you leave my house and you have a family, you're going to have to create money. And I'm not going to get him in a habit of asking me for money. Because when I do say your time is up, you have to leave the house, he needs to be prepared. Because at the end of the day, if you take on a family and you lose your job, if you work with somebody, your responsibility is to make sure that roof stays over your wife and your children's heads. And not sit in your house miserable and sad because you can't find a job when there's money out here to be created. So you're going to learn how to do your things legally. Because the only thing it takes is practice. You got all the business books you need that I have given you. Apply the knowledge and create the money. So I leave you guys with the question. What are you guys doing right now? Right now that is developing your children to be productive citizens and adults when they leave your home? And if you have already put your children out of the home, for whatever reason, you don't have to tell me why, do you honestly feel that you have given your child all the tools that they need to be successful? And the answer might be yes. But for some, it may be no. And if you have put your children out and you have not given them the tools that they need to be successful, A, are your children struggling? And B, do you feel guilty? Those are just questions I have. I don't got to answer it. Those are just things that is in my head that I would like to have people think about. So that's all I have. I'm at my son's school picking him up now. So I'm going to go. But thank you for having a conversation with me. I've been thinking about this because I'm meeting too many people kicking their children out. And these poor children they're not ready. They're not ready. And their children are living a cycle of poverty and low income. And they're not ready. And they own nothing. They're not owners. They're consumers. They're consumers and not producers. That's a problem. I love you guys. Have a great day. See you all tomorrow morning.